Hi, this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Our devotion for today, April 27th, 2021, is from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 6, verses 1 through 11. I'm going to read the whole scripture passage. On another Sabbath, he entered the synagogue and was teaching, and a man was there whose right hand was withered. And the scribes and the Pharisees watched him to see whether he would heal on the Sabbath, so that they might find a reason to accuse him. But he knew their thoughts, and he said to the man with the withered hand, "Come and stand there." And he rose and stood there. And Jesus said to them, "I ask you, is it lawful on the Sabbath to do good or to do harm, to save life or to destroy it?" And after looking around at them all, he said to them, "Stretch out your hand." And he did so, and his hand was restored. But they were filled with fury and discussed with one another what they might do to Jesus. I'd like to talk about evil for a few minutes. You just heard me read our devotion for today, and in it we hear a lot about evil, how it operates in people and how it can't stand anything good happening while it's in charge or thinks it's in charge. In our devotion, it is the Sabbath, and we're in the synagogue as we should be in the Sabbath. And we have a man with a withered hand there. And the scribes and the Pharisees, who are the religious authorities of Israel, are watching Jesus for the purpose of seeing whether he's going to heal or not. So they're there for the wrong reason. They're there in the synagogue when they should be there to worship the Lord. They're there instead to see if Jesus heals somebody and in their minds violates the Sabbath. Well, that's not having the right heart for being in worship, for being in the synagogue. That's evil. So to see if he would heal on the Sabbath, imagine someone being healed on the Sabbath as being a bad thing, a condemning thing. Jesus asked the question, is it lawful on the Sabbath to do good or to do harm, to save a life or destroy it? You can't do good and you can't save a life on the Sabbath. That would be considered evil. I mean, that's certainly not a sign of loving one's neighbor. Healing would be a sign of loving one's neighbor, wouldn't it? So, of course, Jesus heals the man's hand. And as a result, they are furious. They want to gather together and discuss what they're going to do to Jesus. They have something now that they can accuse him of. Accuse him of the crime of healing somebody on the Sabbath, of giving this man back the use of his hand. This is evil active in the hearts and the minds of these religious leaders, these people in charge. And certainly we've had enough examples in our own lifetime of leaders, being led by evil. So evil wants to destroy the possibility of anything good happening on its watch. And it certainly doesn't like the idea that Jesus doesn't respect its watch, that Jesus doesn't submit to evil, but instead evil submits to him. We need to make sure that we never squeeze out mercy and compassion and love from our laws and our rules and our decisions and our judgments, especially when we consider the mercy and compassion and love Jesus showed us sinners, you and me. He offered his very life on the cross so that we would be spared our true judgment as sinners, but instead have received his mercy and compassion and love in his death and resurrection. Let us not rule evil, or let us not let evil rule us, but instead let our hearts show love instead. The love of Christ who commanded us to love our neighbor as ourselves. Go in peace, serve the Lord.